Splinterlands dropped massive reward changes last week to their entire game, and so I've been running numbers to see what's the difference, how much can you earn in Splinterlands now, and give you some tips to maximize your profits and your earnings. So stay tuned. Hello, hola, ¿cómo está everyone? This is Luke Plays to Earn here with Balthazar, and if you know me from my personal channel, you know I love playing and covering Splinterlands. A few weeks ago, we put out the video recap of the massive research report done by Balthazar and the research team on Splinterlands. The research team called it the sleeping giant of NFT gaming and gave it high praise for a lot of things, but one of the biggest things that they had complained about was the lack of earnings and the reward structure in Splinterlands. Well, guess what? That has all changed now with this new update, and so I want to review and take a look at the numbers to see how much you can earn and give you some tips to maximize your profits. If you're not into Splinterlands, or maybe you haven't been paying attention, essentially there is a couple big changes that have completely changed the game. The first is that winning is actually going to start mattering in ranked play in Splinterlands. Before, you could just try to get to your daily quest, get your 5 games done with whatever Splinter they gave you, and you'd get your reward chest. Now, your daily and your season chests are going to depend on how many wins you get, because each win gives you focus points, which will give you more daily and season quests. Also, what tier you play in is going to be vastly important, because now each chest is going to have different things in it. Whereas before, pretty much all chests above bronze were almost the exact same, except for different percentages on getting packs. But now everything changes. DEC changes, how much you get per league in silver versus gold versus champion, as well as percentages on things like getting packs, gold foil cards, or legendary cards. The new reward chest that you'll be going for is based on the highest achieved league in last season. It could be at any point of the season. It could be at the very beginning. You jumped to gold and then you played the rest of the season in silver and finished in silver. It will still count towards earning gold chests in the next season. Higher tiers, though, are harder to earn because they require more focus points. So you can't really game the system, end in diamond, and then start playing in bronze the next season, because that means you're probably going to, through the entire season, if you're playing in bronze, only earn like 3 diamond chests. So now it's more important than ever to play in the tier that your deck will specifically fit and win at. Also, bonuses will mean a lot more because they give you more focus points. So things like using gold foil cards, alpha beta cards, or win streaks will help you earn more chests, whereas using starter cards now will actually remove some of your focus points. So make sure you're not using starter cards, because that is where you're going to get penalized. So again, I took a bunch of data, and here is what the rewards now look like compared to previous seasons. However, please remember that this is going to look different for each player, because each player is going to have different deck, different bonuses, starter cards, all of those things will affect it. I'm pulling numbers from my own data, but also from my community members to give us rough estimates. I also focus my data purely on bronze, silver, and gold numbers because, well, that's where I play at, that's where my community plays at, that's where 90% of people are going to be playing, because diamond and champion cost a lot of money to get to really be able to compete there. But if you want to go learn about those top numbers, you can go look at other content creators such as Tales from the Cryptmancer, Steve R82, Dwayne Cunningham, and others. Also, these numbers don't take into account things like the season start being harder than the season end, so these are, again, just averages. So here are the numbers for what you could earn previously last season, just looking at loot chests, not looking at DEC per win. You can see it was pretty abysmal, especially at the lower leagues. For bronze 1, every season or 2 weeks, you would be getting $1.56 of average value, and a lot of that was in potions, so that's not even liquid, so it'd be even less if you're only counting credits or card rewards. Silver, it got a little bit better, somewhere between $4 to $8, and gold, even bigger, $13 to $21 on average. Now, if we're using the estimated chest values from Gank, who is a Maverick in Splinterlands, and Mavericks are some of the bigger investors into Splinterlands, Gank's estimates were about 3 cents a chest per bronze in these new reward chests, 7.5 cents for silver, and about 15 cents per chest in gold. Using those numbers and the estimated reward share per win in each of the following leagues, you can see about a 50% win rate. All of these numbers across all the leagues about doubled in the earnings per 2 weeks, and especially at bronze 1, where we were getting an abysmal $1.50, it's now jumped up almost 5x from that to $7.59. So for newer players, that's really good news, because now it means you're actually getting meaningful stuff in the game. Now, still to some that might not seem like massive numbers. However, this I think is a lot more sustainable economy than a lot of other games. And even think about just putting in a couple $100 to play in silver, maybe renting a couple extra cards. You're still maybe earning about $30 a month. And in 10 months, you're going to ROI. And I think that is pretty reasonable. Now, how do these numbers change when we look at things like win rate or gold foil cards? How do we maximize our earnings? Well, tip number one is pretty obvious. It's just move up into leagues that you can, because the higher league you get, the more chests you're going to earn with more reward shares and potentially better value chests if you move into silver or gold over bronze. However, win rate doesn't matter quite as much over an entire season as you might think it does. Now you might be thinking, are you sure, Luke? Because for instance, let's say we're playing in bronze 1 and we're getting about 1,000 R shares per win. Well, if you have 20 wins a day, that's 20,000 reward shares, right? But if you only get 10 wins a day, that's only 10,000 reward shares. So you're thinking, okay, I'm getting double the amount of points. That should make a huge difference with my win rate, right? Well, not necessarily as much as you would think, because the reward chests get harder and harder to earn the higher you go up per day and the higher you go up per season. It's almost an exponential curve. So you're 10,000 points a day in bronze, winning 10 out of your 30 matches, even though that's an abysmal 33% win rate, you could still net yourself around 11 chests. Whereas if you get 20,000 points a day winning a lot more, you're still then only getting 14 chests, only a difference of 3. Same thing with season chests. Let's say you're getting 10,000 points a day. That's 140,000 points a season, which is 63 bronze 1 chests. However, if you're getting 20,000 points a day and you get 280,000 points a season, that's only still 76 chests, because again, the more chests you go for, the harder it gets. Of course, playing at higher leagues, it will matter a bit more in end of season value because your chests are worth a lot more. So if you're playing around 30 matches a day, draining your ECR from 100% to 75%, and you get 20 wins in bronze, that is going to be $8.16 of average value versus 10 wins a day, $6.51. So really only about $1.50 difference. However, again, in silver, your chests mean more, so that could actually be the difference of $6.50 of value every season, and in gold 1, that could even be $14 difference per season. So based on these numbers, the higher your league, the more your win rate will matter. Also take into consideration that win streaks do give you bonuses, so stringing a bunch of wins together is going to be your best case scenario. This is why moving up in rank is usually going to net you more earnings per season, but again, if you're losing too much, then that is where you're going to be harmed. For instance, if you can get 20 out of 30 wins per day in bronze 1, you're going to be earning over $8, whereas in silver 3, only getting 10 wins per day is around $7 per season. However, about 15 wins at silver 3 will net you around $10 on average per season. So if your win rate is very wide gap, then consider maybe ranking down. But if you can still get around a 50% win rate or better, then often moving up a league, if possible, is going to net you better results. Same thing for gold and silver. If you're playing in gold 3 and only getting 10 wins per day, that is going to give you less value than getting something like 20 wins per day in silver 1. Now, what about trying to achieve a chest in a higher league than what you're playing in? For instance, playing in bronze 1 but going for silver chests, or playing in silver 1 trying to earn gold chests. Well, based on just a 50% win rate, trying to play in bronze 1 and achieve silver chests is actually less valuable than just sticking in bronze 1 and earning bronze chests. Playing in silver 1, however, and trying to earn gold chests actually netted about the same results as playing in silver and earning silver chests. So it just depends on if you want to earn better chests but less of them, or if you want to earn more chests that are at lesser of value. If you're a top level silver player with the numbers right now, I think it's just really up to you what you prefer. Now, what about gold foil cards? A lot of people have rushed out to start building gold foil decks because now it increases the amount of daily and season chests you get. Well, again, I don't think it's actually going to matter as much as you might think. Again, let's just say your win rate is about 50%, and let's say even generously, you can use all your gold cards all the time and you're getting about a 50% bonus per match. Well, on daily, that's only going to boost you about 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 chests if you're winning more than the 50% win rate, but not a ton. Also, for each season, you're probably talking about 10 more chests in bronze and silver, and maybe in gold because your rating is cubed plus the bonus. Maybe you'll get maybe 15 or more chests. Maybe if you're trying hard enough, you can get an extra 20 chests out of it. So really when the numbers come down to it, you're looking at a couple extra bucks here in the lower leagues, and then maybe in the higher leagues in silver and gold, it's an extra $5 to $10. Now, of course, there's other bonuses to gold foil cards, such as extra DEC per win, and also being able to use them in guild battles and tournaments. So it's not that it's useless, it's just not as much maybe for your ranked play as one might think it is. Gold foil cards typically are rare as well, so usually they hold better long-term value, so that's why a lot of players hold them as well. But if you're newer to a game and just trying to build out your deck for the most earnings per season, I would actually recommend focusing on building up a stronger deck to push yourself into higher tiers than just going for those gold foil cards. Now, what about multi-accounting? Is it actually more efficient to go out and grab multiple accounts instead of just pushing to one account, which is what the team was trying to get us to do, is trying to focus on to our accounts more into just one main? Well, based on my results, multi-accounting can actually still be more efficient, especially if you have the time to play the multiple accounts. This is again because season chests get exponentially harder to achieve the higher you go up in season points. For instance, I have 3 bronze accounts that I just rent cards for, and I do a rotation. So one day I'll play one account, then the next, and I just keep rotating every 3 days. Now, if I was to play that one bronze account each and every single day, then getting 150 chests per season would be almost impossible. However, even just rotating through these accounts and not even playing them all each day, those first 50 chests are really easy to get. So across those 3 accounts, I'm easily going to get 150, maybe even close to 200 chests, where if I played on one account, I'd be lucky to get 100 season chests. Of course, multi-accounting again takes more time and effort, plus you have to buy more spellbooks, but if you have the time and if you're especially wanting to use the rental market, I think it could be a good way to earn more. Speaking of which, use the rental market in this game, even if you own a bunch of cards, because right now rental prices for some really good decks and really good cards aren't as crazy expensive as you think, and it can help you get a lot more wins and push you into higher leagues. For instance, on my main account, even though I probably have mostly a silver level deck, if I can rent a couple key level gold cards and summoners per day to hit my daily focus, I can earn gold chests where I probably wouldn't normally be able to do that with my current deck. I've also been able to pull off on each of my alt accounts that have almost no cards, renting for just 2 to 3 cents worth of DEC a day to push them into bronze 1 and earn about 15 chests. So spending 20 to 30 DEC a day, as you can see here in this example, and making almost half of that back in just my battles, plus getting about 50 cents of rewards and bronze, seems to be well worth it. The team has already talked about changing the daily focus from what it is now. This is just version 1, but until we get a different change, right now you can just spam that same splinter to get your daily focus over and over and over again. So if you get death, you can just keep playing death every single match so that you can get your daily chests. Of course though, this does make you very predictable and opponents can beat you down more because they know what's coming. So my definite recommendation, whatever your daily focus is, make sure you go out and rent 2 or 3 other summoners within that same splinter so that you can have leveled up cards for multiple different styles of deck. For instance, you can rent multiple summoners on the death team, 1 to prevent magic, 1 to counter range, and 1 to counter melee. So even though they can see that you played death the past 5 matches, they don't know if you're going to counter their range attack, their melee, or their magic. You can also rent multiple monsters to make sure you have a different variety of attacks. Maybe one is a sneak attack with melee. Maybe one is a heavy range comp. Maybe one is a mostly magic and poison comp. Mix it up within that same splinter so that your opponents can't guess every single time what you're going to play. Or just be like some people and rent the most overpowered cards and keep spamming it and just challenge people to try to stop you. Which again, more is more, it's getting more expensive to rent those OP cards, so those might not be the best option. So those are my results and my tips for you. Remember though that these numbers can change anytime, especially as the market changes and as well as the Splinterlands team tweaking things over time. This is just week 1 of these changes, and we can expect tweaks to come from the team as they see the data and the numbers and want to adjust them. Whatever way you look at it though, as long as you're implementing the correct strategy and playing in the correct league where you can get enough wins, you should be earning a lot more in Splinterlands than you did before, at least a 2 to times amount than the previous seasons. Also remember, while you can drive yourself mad trying to figure out the perfect strategy to earn the most chests and get the most earnings out of the game, remember it is also still a game and you should just have fun with it. Don't drive yourself too crazy. Put a good strategy up there, but also just enjoy it while you can. And if you haven't jumped into Splinterlands yet, you can follow us along here at Balthazar. We'll give you some more help and tips, especially in the Discord. And you can also sign up to be a scholar on our website if you don't currently have funds to put into this game. That's it for now though. Peace out, Palam, adios, my friends. And if you haven't checked out the Splinterlands research report, I would go suggest you watch that as your next video. I think you'll really enjoy it. Take care.